What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the X Factor Daily NBA show. I am your host, Caleb, riding solo tonight. No big deal. We'll get right into things. Only 5 games on last night in the NBA, so we got, a little bit to get into here. Um, but before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The daily or the weekly NBA podcast just came out, so be sure to check that out. Tell some friends. Let's get going here. Start off first. The first game I want to hit, the Los Angeles Clippers lost to the Dallas Mavericks 103 to 101. For the Clippers, Paul George had 23, 7, and 6. He shot 7 to 13 from the field. I don't think he played bad. He had 41 minutes of gameplay last night. I don't think he played bad. The issue is 10 turnovers. So obviously that's kind of bad. He had a lot of turnovers late in the game when the Clippers could have made a big comeback and could have won this game. Clippers were down by 25 in the first half, I think. And then, clawed their way back, had the lead at several points. Basketball is a game of runs. That's all it's about. Um, Marcus Morris Sr. had 18, so not a bad game from him. There are two players I want to highlight for the Clippers that I think kept them in this game, and it is John Wall, who had 17, 6, and 4, 6 to 11 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point line. And Nicholas Batum, 22 points, 5 rebounds, shot 7 of 7 from the field, 7 of 7 from the three-point line. So obviously those two guys, coming off the bench, providing key minutes. John Wall played 26 minutes and Nicholas Batum also 26 minutes. They were able to keep the Clippers in this game when Paul George came up. And when it came up late, when you expect to rely on him, he kind of disappointed. But when these two teams play, it's an instant classic almost every single time. It's almost guaranteed. For the Mavericks, Reggie Bullock finally gets going for this team. He had 13 points. All 13 points came in the fourth quarter. He shot 4 of 8 from 3. Dorian Finney-Smith, 21 points. He finally had a good game. 7 of 15 from the field, 7 of 13 from the three-point line. A lot of three-point attempts there from Dorian Finney-Smith. Spencer Dinwiddie, 16 and 6. He's shot 6 of 15. So nothing that stands out, but he came up big when they needed it. When it seemed like the Clippers were going to either pull away or get momentum on their side, he got a couple clutch, tough and one buckets. Was really able to keep this Mavericks team there. Luka Doncic, 35, 11, and 5, 11 of 22 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three. It came up with a very big clutch shot there in the end. Play was broken down, loose ball. He is able to pick it up, see the shot clock as he's picking the ball up, and hit a clutch shot there. So Luka doing Luka things. Christian Wood with 15 and 7 off the bench as well. Big win there for the Mavericks. The Pelicans defeated the Memphis Grizzlies 102 to 113. This game was just a highlight reel. John Morant, 36, 8, and 4. Brandon Clark with 15 and 13 off the bench. Dylan Brooks with 19. John Morant had to do a whole lot for this team. He shot 27 times. No Desmond Bane for the next few weeks with a right toe injury. So I'm afraid of what the vibes are going to be like in the Memphis now. Is John Morant going to have to do too much? Are they going to fall? Are they going to slide? Who knows? Could they make a trade? It's interesting. Jaren Jackson Jr. will be back, or he was back last night. Excuse me. 7 points, 6 assists. So nothing crazy there. Trying to get his way back into it. So he needs to step up big, or somebody else does consistently, and I just don't know if they have it. But for the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram had 19. He shot 7 of 14. Trey Murphy had 13. He had some great dunks, great highlights there. 13 points for him. Herb Jones with 10. CJ McCollum had 30 and 9. He shot 11 23 from the field. He was due for a big game. He's kind of struggled. He's had a finger injury on his shooting hand, I believe. So he's kind of struggled. But I think he was due for a big game, and we saw it there. Larry Nance with 19 and 7. Jose Alvarado was 12 and 6 off the bench as well. So a nice win there for the Pelicans. I was starting to get a little worried about the Pelicans. I won't lie, but I'm starting to get a little bit more confident. They're able to pick up a win against a good Grizzlies team, even without Desmond Bane. I think that's nice. Grizzlies at 9 and 6, Pelicans at 8 and 6. I got my eyes on both those teams. The Knicks went into Utah and won 118 to 111. The Jazz have lost 3 in a row now, 3 or 4 in a row. They're sitting at 10 and 6. So still a very good record, but maybe this is when the Jazz start to slide. Well, who knows? For the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen only had 13. He shot 5 of 11. Kelly Olynyk had a good game, 27 and 11. He shot 7 of 13. Only 2 3-point 3-pointers made for Kelly Olynyk. You would expect that to be a lot more with him having a big game like that. Jordan Clarkson, 15. Mike Conley, 10 and 7. Malik Beasley with 14. Taylor Horton Tucker with 10. So maybe it's finally catching up to the Jazz. Maybe they're going to start slowing down, and maybe, we see the end of this fun run. But who knows? Anything's possible with this team. I'm not going to count them out just yet. For the Knicks, a big win there. RJ Barrett had 18, Julius Randle 15, it's Cam Reddish with 19, Jalen Brunson with 25 and 8. Jericho Sims, a lot of fun to watch, a freak athlete. He had 11 and 13, and Emmanuel Quickly with 13 there. Just spread out scoring for the Knicks, and I think they, this just needs to be consistent. This has been my issue with them all year long, and why I have no faith in them. They're sitting at 7 and 7, so this was an important win. But I just don't have any faith in them, and we're gonna get into them more throughout the week. So stay tuned. We got a lot of fun videos coming out where I'm gonna hit on the Knicks maybe a little bit more. The San Antonio Spurs lost 110 to 117 to the Portland Trailblazers. For the Trailblazers, the story is Jeremy Grant, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 9 of 15 from the field. He had 6 of 8 from 3. He's shooting phenomenal from the 3-point line. I don't have the stats in front of me throughout the, up to this point through the season, but I mean, his percentage from 3 is insane. Jeremy Grant is playing very well now. He's kind of had a slow start of this season, but he's really been picking it up and being that number 2 guy I think everybody wanted him to be and expected him to be for this money. Josh Hart was 6, 7, and 5, 3 steals. Damian Lillard with 22 and 11. Anthony Simons with 23. Shaedon Sharpe with 13. And for the San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson, 20. Jakob Poeltl. I'm going to hit really hard on Jakob Poeltl. There is a video that will be out tomorrow, so be sure to check it out. Jakob Poeltl, 31, 14, and 5. 14 to 17 from the field. Devin Vassell with 21. So for the Spurs, there's momentum starting to lose for them. 6 and 9 now. But for the Portland Trailblazers, sitting at 10 and 4, they might be a top contender in the West. Who knows? I might be very, very wrong about this Blazers team. If Jeremy Grant can continue, if Anthony Simons can step up and play well, like he has been, and Damian Lillard can stay healthy, who knows what this Trailblazers team really can accomplish. And the last game of the night, the Brooklyn Nets put up 121. And if I just told you that, you would consider that they probably won. 121 points is a lot. They put up 121 and lost by 32. The Sacramento Kings scored 153 points last night. For the Sacramento Kings, Harrison Barnes, 16, Domantas Sabonis, 17, 7, and 7. Kevin Huerter, 19. He's having a great year for this Kings team. He's a lot of fun to watch. De'Aaron Fox with an off night, or I should say a quiet night, 14 and 9. Trey Lyles with 12. Malik Monk with 15. Terrence Davis off the bench had 31 and 9. He shot 12 of 16 from the field, 7 of 10 from the 3-point line. Terrence Davis is a guy that I really didn't know anything about until he started to make some noise with the Raptors. Now he's here in Sacramento. He's a nice little role player for them. Obviously had a big game there. I mean, it just spread out scoring, and you would expect that with 153 points. I'm loving the vibes here in Sacktown right now. They are 7 and 6, really trying to swing things their way. I'm all for it. They're a lot of fun to watch. The energy in that building is great. The fan base is behind them. Keegan Murray was out early. I think he injured himself, maybe just something slight, but I expect him to come back healthy and be fine. He's played really well for them up to this point. And for the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant continues 27, 4, and 6. Nobody else stepped up. Edmond Sumner had 18. He's playing well for them. Shout out to Edmond Sumner. And then Yuta Watanabe with 11. Ben Simmons with 11. He didn't start for them. Cam Thomas with 12. Just Nets, what are we doing? I expect things to go downhill from here. We have a lot of games on tonight. First game on tonight, the Pacers take on the Charlotte Hornets. In Charlotte, give me the Pacers. And you know how all of us feel about the Charlotte team. They're 4 and 11. This Pacers team, I expect they're going to continue to play really well. We're starting to see more teams be interested in Miles Turner. So I expect him just to try to play very well to get his trade value up. Give me the Pacers. 7 o'clock, the Timberwolves travel to the Orlando Magic. I'm going to go with the Magic here. I do think it's going to be interesting just because this Magic team is lengthy, but they don't have like a true big other than Wendell Carter. So I do think the Timberwolves could provide some problems, but I'm going to go the Magic. 7 o'clock as well. The Thunder travel to Washington to take on the Wizards. I'm not going to say a word about the Washington Wizards. Every time I give them credit, they lose a bunch in a row, and every time I call them out, they win a bunch in a row. Give me the Thunder though. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, big night. 7:30 on ESPN. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics. I think this will be a very fun game. Trae Young has struggled up to this point. DeJounte Murray, I think, has played very well for them. Clint Capella is really starting to figure things out as well. But ultimately, I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. Might be the best team in the league right now. 7:30, the Raptors host the Miami Heat. Both teams that are kind of just like, okay, especially with the Raptors. Pascal Siakam being out, Precious Achiuwa is out too. I will go the Heat here. I think they're starting to play very well. The momentum's on their side right now, and I think they're going to keep this thing rolling. At 8 o'clock, the Bucks host the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think this is a very important game for the Cavaliers. They've lost 4 in a row. You don't want to make it 5 and be 8-6 now. So I will go with the Cavaliers. I'm very iffy about it though. I think I'm more or less just picking them because I want them to win. 8 o'clock, the Chicago Bulls go to New Orleans, take on the Pelicans. I'm going to go the Pelicans. They're not as good defensively as I thought they would be. So I do think there's a potential for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan to have a big night. But I will go with this Pelicans team after a night like last night where momentum was fully on their side after a great game, a bunch of highlights. That place was rocking on a back-to-back. I think the crowd's really going to be into it. 8:30, the Mavericks take on the Rockets. Rockets were probably the worst team in the league, sitting at 2-12. I'm going to take the Mavericks here. Reggie Bullock finally getting going. Dorian Finney-Smith had a good game. Spencer Dinwiddie had an off night, but they were still able to pick up a win against a Clippers team. So I'm going to go the Mavericks. The Nuggets host the Knicks at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go Nuggets. You know how I feel about this Knicks team. Not very good. I think Jokic has a good night. I think he's not had them in a couple nights trying to get everybody else going. So I think Jokic is due for a big night, and I think he has it tonight. And the last game of the night, the Warriors take on the Suns at 10:30. The Warriors 6-8, the Suns 8-5. I'm gonna go the Suns at home. I just don't like the vibes right now in Golden State, and I do think that as much as they have some pieces to throw at like a guy like Devin Booker to make it a difficult night, that still this Phoenix team has enough to get the job done. But that's all we have. Like I said, the weekly show came out today, so go check that out. We've got a video coming out tomorrow, most tradable name on every team. So be sure to check that out as well. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.